Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream where today we are going to be doing, first off, a bit of a longer stream. At least, hopefully, we'll see how things go. But basically, today is going to be a bit of a different stream. As you can see, it is labeled as mature. I haven't labeled the stream as "this streamer does mature," whatever, because it's annoying. But basically, myself and our current cast is Douchey Makuchi, Warp Spider, and Rowdy Chris. We are all going to be having a discussion about depression and one of the more specifics of how COVID has been affecting us for, the past 6 months or so that it's been going on. But basically, yeah, let me go ahead and get on in there. I will have to do a little bit of weirdness with my camera situation, but yeah, let's just do that. Okay, and I'm coming in, boys.
Tell you later.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we'll talk about this later.
There's a reason why I decided to go and unmute myself in here before I went and put you guys live. Because I don't know what in the world you're going to be talking about.
It was fun things, man, it was great.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Well, welcome. I guess let's start with a little bit of introductions from everyone. So let's start with you, Douchey.
Hi, I'm Douche Makuchi. I do like gaming and stuff like that. My name does not show what my personality is. I'm here for support and much love to everybody here.
And then Warped.
I'm Warp Spider. I also do video games. I do some just chatting as well. My name doesn't represent me at all. I'm not a spider, but I'm here for love, Oh wait, that's wrong show. No,
This isn't the dating show, dude. That's coming later. That's later.
I'm here to help people, If you ever need anything, you can always jump in, talk to me on Twitter, whatever.
And then Chris.
Hey everybody, thanks for inviting me.
no
I'm
problem.
Rowdy Chris. I'm not a rowdy, obviously.
He's the calmest guy
I wish I could
ever.
say I'm streaming right now, but I'm slacking. I'm just playing Dota 2 at the moment. But
I mean,
got
hey,
my
you're on a lot of streams though.
I am on a lot of streams. That's true.
Yeah. So I kind of explained this to chat a little bit, but basically the concept is just have a general discussion on depression and more specifically the effects that COVID has been having on your mental health. And then now this is news for everyone, kind of. So the show is called How Are You Thinking? Because basically I don't want it to be a thing of, what are you thinking about? Or, how are you feeling? No, what I want to do is I want to, as best we can, get to the root emotion and cause of why you're having the emotions that you're having. Dreamer, why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? I'm trying to be serious here and just make me laugh. You can do Bob Cam next.
Dear God. So evil. That's my bad. And he's a mod in your server. No.
I love Dream. He's one of my best friends, IRL.
How dare you? Oh, okay, it's fine then.
Yeah. He just comes in and just dab for me.
Worst time though. It's funny.
Yeah. So I guess I can start. So for me, I've been clinically depressed probably at this point for about a year and a half, I'd say. Hey, Warped. Thank you for the tier 1. Appreciate it, man.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so basically, I've gone into more depth in the past on what has caused me to get to the point where I am, but basically back in about February of 2019, had a very bad breakup, so to speak. Basically, it wasn't anything outside of a platonic relationship, but it was definitely a close relationship that then went and put me into a very bad spiral, which, given the fact that I've been off and on suicidal since I've been 10, wasn't exactly all that great for me. And then just this last, I guess, I don't know the exact timing of how that works, but on the 1st of this month, July, it was, I think, like around mid-March, if not early April, that I went and made the decision that I was going to kill myself on July 1st, which obviously luckily did not happen. But yeah, basically, it's been rough. So that's, I guess, the majority of my story with it. So that, because it was definitely a thing of seeing how COVID was kind of already limited. Like, I already had a limited friend circle and social life, and then that basically just completely got eliminated, and so it's been interesting to say the least.
Yeah, man, COVID's tough with like mental health, honestly, because I like to go out and do things. I'm very extroverted in real life. Like, I love to talk to people. I love to hang out with people. I haven't even been able to see my older sister who lives across town, like, at all for the last 4 months and stuff. And she almost got, like, divorced, or not divorced, broke up with her fiance, and I wasn't even there to, like, help her or anything. It's been rough, bro. I know what you mean. It's rough out here right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of my friends that deal with similar issues and stuff like that have been going through a very tough time because you can't do anything. You're cooped inside. You have no way of easing your mind and getting, doing things to get rid of these thoughts or anything like that. It's been the whole COVID pandemic and everything that has really, really taken its toll on mental health issues, horribly. So I can agree with that.
It's been rough.
Yeah. And
I mean, in the sense of siblings, like, I think it was probably May or so. My older sister, she lives like 2 towns away, but like she was getting real bad apparently. I mean, I don't know exactly what was going on with her. I think it was mostly anxiety for her, but then my dad ended up being like, just come over. Like, there's no reason why you can't come over. You've been self-isolating, we've been self-isolating. Just come over. You clearly need it.
I mean, what were you gonna say, Spider?
I was gonna just reiterate on that point that if you need to see somebody and you can't, do it. You know, I'm an EMT. I think you should do it, man. Honestly, if it's gonna help you mentally, I feel like mental health can take a little precedence over your lungs for a day. You know, don't go out and kiss people, but if you need to see your family, see your family.
But what if my family's Italian?
Oh god, well you're screwed, man.
Then you have no chance. You're all dead.
I mean, if it's okay, I'll jump in next to get kind of give my side of stuff. For me, I kind of have like the similar deal. Those who know me or whatever like that, I'm very open. I leave everything on the table, point blank. There's obviously, which everybody does, they have things hidden away. I myself, dealt with a one of those relationships that really left me in a rut. And that's where a lot of my mental health started from. I'm not gonna lie. And I mean, granted, that was 4 years ago. I know it's not the point of the topic, but social anxiety and stuff like that really hit me hard. And I kind of like would force myself to go through it just to hang out with friends. I couldn't even hang out with people if I didn't force myself through for a while. And then on the side of our topic and stuff like that today with depression and stuff like that, it's gotten better. It's gotten a little bit better for myself. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I work every day, so I do have things where I go out and I do see other people and stuff like that to keep my mind busy. My depression really, really hits hard when I visit my father, because deep down, like I feel like I don't visit him as much as I need to, and every time I visit him, granted it's a great time. We love seeing each other. We have a great time together. When I leave, my whole 2-hour drive home is nothing but the day I lose my dad. It's going to be the day that tortures me, and it puts me in a rut, and this rut leaves me hanging for a week and a half to 2 weeks. I put a mask on. I really do. I go in voice chats on Discord and stuff like that with other people, and I'm putting a mask on because I try to feel stronger so that I have time for my friends and other people that do deal with the same issues so that I can help them. You know, I have the tattoo on my left arm that says "Friends of the family you choose," and I live by that. That is everything to me. So I make myself available at any time, whether I'm going through it or not. And that is it tortures me. Tortures me for like a week and a half to 2 weeks. So that is my biggest thing with depression.
Yeah, because I'm assuming you're really close with your dad then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's sounds a bit rough there.
Man, that's rough. I feel for you, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Appreciate you telling us.
yeah, I mean that's a story. I don't think I've told anybody that story, to be honest with you. Maybe one or two people. I mean, I really don't think I've expressed that story enough. And you know, I did have that big the tweet longer that I posted a couple weeks or like a week or two ago, expressing that I do deal with mental health issues, whether how explosive and jolly that I am. To humanize it, that is something that is people go through, and it's a normal thing, whether it tears you apart or doesn't. It's normal. Everybody goes through it, and I put that tweet longer out there for that reason. You know, I'm human too. I go through it. I didn't express why or what causes it, which this is the first time I've actually expressed that in front of you gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, because I went and it wasn't a tweet longer, it was just a string of tweets, but I mean, I went and because when Rectful ended up going and taking his life, like, I mean, you know, at least if I'm correct, that happened on the 1st, which, you know, for me, that was like, that could have been me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went and put a long string out because, I mean, I generally try to keep things more lighthearted. You know, I'm not actively trying to be like, oh, I'm so depressed, but it definitely does show up occasionally. But I totally agree with you of like, just not enough people know if you're not explicitly stating it. I mean, I remember, and this was a really big turning point for me in kind of the way that I look at mental health. Back last June, I think it was, I went on a youth event. You know, it was a religious youth event. We went out to Wyoming, did a lot of like pioneer stuff. And the whole time I was absolutely miserable, both in my head and to be around. I basically refused to talk to anyone. But the thing is, I had sunglasses on, like a big sun hat. Basically, I was trying to hide the fact that I was actively, like, I mean, I remember specifically one curve where we were going on a bit of a hike where I could have easily gone and just, like, even if it was only for a few seconds of time that I could have done it, I could have easily just disappeared and no one would have known. And then, you know, the whole time I'm miserable. Finally, we get to the last day. We're starting to head home. Then I ended up going and sitting outside while everyone was inside, you know, finishing eating dinner, and I was just sobbing on the grass because I felt like the whole 3-day experience, nobody had come, even tried to talk to me, whatever. And then I get back home, you know, things go back to some form of normality, but I'm still just kind of stuck in the rut from it. And then my parents were, you know, they could easily tell that something wasn't right, so they started talking with me, and, you know, I'm just like, I'm pissed, no one cares about me, you know, what's the point of even going on? And I can't remember exactly what my dad said, but it was somewhere in the lines of, more than likely, people see that you are in pain, but they have no idea how to approach you. Which I think is the biggest thing with mental health, is that people can see it normally, it's just they have either little or no experience with it, so they don't know how to approach it. It's just like, oh, you know, put on a smile, or whatever they end up happening to say.
You know, you got the people that and it bothers me a little bit, and I used to be one of those people before I started dealing with it myself. Those people that are like, just don't think about it. And that drives me crazy. Do you know how hard it is to not? When that's something that revolves around your mind, it wraps around your head, and it's like there's nothing else to think about. And your word of advice is don't think about it.
Yeah. Put on
And
this
like I
thing.
said, I was one of those people. And it just shows how oblivious people are of this situation.
Yeah.
And is what it is. It's just people don't understand it. They
You will
think it's
never
Yeah.
mental.
know unless you felt it.
Yeah, I mean, until
Exactly.
there's that direct, like, I mean, it's the thing with, I mean, most people, like, you know, they hear the word suicide or whatever, and then they're like, oh yeah, that must be so hard. Like, unless you've dealt with it yourself, you know, yourself being suicidal or a family member or close friend, like, generally you can kind of think like, oh, you know, that's hard, but you have no idea what it's really like to have the thought of
You don't.
this person that I care about hates themselves, reality, whatever, so much that they are willing to take their own life.
Yeah.
Which
No,
it's such a hard thing to wrap your head around without having that emotional connection with the person. It's just,
You know, and you brought up the July 1st stuff, so, you know, like I said, it was in the past, and when I dealt with social anxiety and then with my depression and everything at the same time, you know, to put it out there and be honest with you, everything. I mean, I had my attempt. You know, I tried to wrap myself around a tree. I took my vehicle full-fledged, and to put it down and everything like that, I got so close to a tree I couldn't open up my driver door. That's how close I came to wrapping myself around a tree. In an attempt. That was my attempt to do. And I came that close. I couldn't even open up my driver door. And that is the true feeling of why I say that I feel I have a second chance in life. And that's why I put everything I have to my friends. And I make myself available to anybody and anybody that needs it. That is my second chance. Not the heart issue. I could care less. That is my life. I've lived and coped with it. That is not why I feel I have a second chance. I feel I have a second chance because of that situation. And that's why I always make myself available. And, you know, and like you said, unless you've been to that point, you don't get it.
I was.
Because I just want to. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good, man. I was unfortunately one of those people when I was really young. I have this buddy online who lives in Florida, and he was really going through it. We have the similar situations with our fathers. We don't really know him that well. And his mom forced him to go to his dad's for like a weekend or whatever. And he came back really depressed, and he wanted to, and we were 13, 14. He wanted to just, you know, disappear off the face of the earth. And I didn't know what to say to him. And I was just like, well, it'll get better. And then, of course, it made it worse because I had no idea and I didn't know anything about it at the time. So I have to live with that now, doing it with myself. But he's so much better at it than I was when I was 14. We're still best friends. So he didn't do it, obviously. But I love that guy. And if I could go back, that's one of the only things I would ever change in my past was what I would say to him. That's it. It's rough.
Mm-hmm.
Especially living with that afterwards and him remembering it. He says he forgot, but he didn't forget. You know, and like I have to apologize every time I feel like I need to.
yeah, I mean, not to say that the people dealing with depression or suicidal thoughts, whatever, you know, have it less worse, but I mean, it can be really hard on some people when it's like, even if it's just that, you know, you've been best friends with someone for years, and then they just tell you like, I've been depressed. It's like, I mean, it's a stupid analogy, but I can think of in Doki Doki Literature Club, you know, like, you know, it's the whole story of leading up to, man, I can't even remember her name at this point. Your best friend in the game. Oh, what is her name?
Natsuka? No.
No, because Natsuki is the tiny one. Sayori. I think that's the name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do a little Google.
Yeah. But so, you know, like, you know, you hear the story as you're going through of like, you know, you've known her for years. You know, like you've grown up on the same block, whatever, and then one of the biggest gut punches before, you know, she ends up killing herself. Obviously, that was mostly due to Monica, whatever. If you don't know the game, it's really confusing. But like it's just that gut punch of you've had no idea. Like it's, oh, they just kind of get up late, whatever. But it's once you have that gut punch of, you haven't seen this, that can be really hard on some people. So it's like, I feel like I should have done more. I mean, that's always what you hear whenever you go to a funeral where someone's taken their life is, oh, I should have done more. I wish I could have helped. Because in the moment, you're like, you see all these situations where you could have easily gone and said anything, but you just don't think to because you don't realize.
Yep. Actually, I'll wait and say this a little bit later on. Actually, once we're through like our stories, wherever, because I have what I've been using to cope with, but I feel like we should get through all of our stories first before we starting into coping.
Yeah.
Do you want to go, Chris, or you want me to go first? Since I haven't said mine. Okay. So, until about 9 months ago, I wasn't depressed at all. And some personal stuff that I literally cannot disclose on stream happened at my martial arts studio. And I was having to deal with leaving a man that has been teaching me how to be a better person since I was 15, basically taking up the position of my dad. Like I said, I don't really have one. So I had to leave, and I knew I had to leave. And that was kind of weighing on my head. And then my mom, she's very good at berating people and just chopping their trees down, like lowering them to her level. She did that to me. It got worse, and eventually just kind of spiraled out of control where I couldn't hardly wake up, couldn't go to work. I didn't want to work, didn't care about anything. I didn't want to even play video games. I didn't want to stream. And then I told my doctor, like, one day, I was like, dude, we need to do something. And it took him some convincing because he doesn't believe in antidepressants or whatever he said.
You're a doctor.
Well, he said, well, let me rephrase what he said. He said, I don't want you to get married to these.
Okay.
But he did say they do work. He said they work, and he did warn me. He's like, it might kind of take your emotions away if I give you the higher dose, but you're a big boy, so we're going to try it. And I said, okay, yeah. I'll try it. And so I did take the 10 mg, and I was like a robot for like that whole time I was on those pills for a month. And then I quit, and then I went to 5 milligrams. I was taking those up until about 2.5 weeks ago, and I feel much better now, thankfully. Like, it's still waves, but overall I'm in a much better place. But I'm also working, and I feel like work has helped, because as soon as work was done, oh my god, I tanked hard.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I wasn't allowed to go to work for about a month and a half, 2 months, oh my gosh, that was not good.
Yeah,
I probably gained 30 pounds in that time just eating. That's all I found joy in at the time, That's rough, because I do have to stay in shape, and I'm having to deal with the repercussions of my stupidity, because I know it was stupid at the time even, but, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, in the sense of pills, because I was on Celexa for a bit. What were you on?
It's Lexapro, but it's the generic for it. I can't pronounce this. Escitalopram.
Yeah, because I don't know exactly the intensity of anything, but the thing is, I was on 10 for a month, 20 for a few months, and I was on 40 for the majority of the time that I was taking pills. And the reason why I ended up stopping is because I ended up having a bad prescription at one point. Like, it was not the same brand, which I don't know how a pharmacy messes that up. Anyways, but I went and I was at a retreat down in southern Utah, and I didn't have pills at the time, and obviously the retreat kind of helped, but just in general, I didn't need them anymore. And so I wonder if after a certain point the pills just started to cause me to be more depressed, as I know that that's a thing that happens. Yeah.
I think that might be a little more common than people give it credit for, honestly, because I think that's what happened to me the first time. The second time I was all good, but the first time I think it made me worse. But and I take pride in my reaction speeds as well, basically it slowed me down to like 3 seconds of actual reactivity. Like I could not
Sheesh.
react to things like that. In my world, I got punched in the face and knocked out, and that was 3 seconds. You know, I was gone.
Mm.
Yeah.
1 second.
You want to go, Chris?
I guess this is the perfect time to go now. So I always was like a socially awkward person. I mean, you still see that I'm not the most loud person. I'm very, you call it cringy. It's just it has always been like that. I don't know why. I haven't figured it out yet. But that wasn't the problem really. Like in primary school, I started to talk with like at least like people my age, not like adults were out of my league anyway.
Yeah, I was actually the opposite. I refused to talk to any peers. It was only the adults
really?
I'd talk to.
Okay. No, so I'm really afraid of like adults. I don't know. They just have like they felt so powerful as a kid. It's like I don't know.
It's fair.
But like yeah, and now it's like with like same age adult same aged people. It's like I would not start a conversation with a random person. I would just never do that. And yeah, that's like one problem of mine. But my main problem right now is that over the years, I think it started in, hold up, what do you call it? Like primary and then comes?
So high school, Bob?
Middle school, maybe?
Middle school. It started to, I started to get like stomach aches, headache and whatever. And I've thought, like, we went to every doctor there was, and they found nothing. And one day they were like, maybe you have mental issues. And then it went over to like depression and anxiety, and it got worse and worse. Every year I had more hours that I wasn't in school because I just couldn't get out of bed. And so at high school I had to drop out after class 3 this year.
That's rough,
That's
man.
rough.
That's rough.
I'm
But at
sorry.
least like, no worries, dude. I'm honestly like listening to your stories. Mine isn't that bad. I never had like suicide thoughts or anything. So I'm glad you're all still here. I'm glad I can talk with you.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, the thing is, you bring
I
up
love you,
an
Chris.
yeah, because you bring up an interesting point there with the oh well, my story isn't as bad as
I
yours.
was gonna say the same
Yeah,
thing
it's
you're
like-
about to say.
Because the thing is, like, and it's not like I'm a psychiatrist or anything, but I just get the human psyche basically. Because, like a lot of what anxiety is, or depression, it's basically, you beat yourself up. Oh, I'm not doing this well enough. I'm not doing this well enough. Whatever it is. Realistically, that is a great thing for your brain to do. It is fantastic that as we've developed as a species, basically it's, hey, we're able to find these things that we need to improve on. Where the issue lies is where the disconnect of, here's the issue, here's the way to fix it, we miss out on this. And so, but, we see people as, oh, I have, this issue, whatever. I mean, because I'll tell you this much, generally speaking, I am kind of the same way of like, I'll hear someone else's story and I'm like, oh, I've been so stupid. Now that's mostly just, I've known a lot about this sort of thing for the majority of my life, and so I know better, but it's difficult to go and see someone else's struggle and then say mine's worse. Because as people, we don't want to come off as, oh, hey, I've been through worse than you. I mean, people do it, but in this sort of space, no, because, well, then you just look like an asshole.
Yeah, I don't normally ever try to compare any two-person stories. I kind of take it from like learning like a baby is my best expression. Take it as a full new thought of expression. You know, like that's your story. I don't have anything to compare it to, and I'm not going to compare it to anything. And that's how I view people. Like if they say something after me or whatever, you know, it's the same thing. Everybody has their struggles, and depending on the person, they can be. If they seem worse, they might not be as bad in your head. As everybody perceives things differently, in my opinion. So as what somebody perceives as terrible might not be that bad to a person, because unfortunately we are products of our environment. If they're used to that, then they're used to it at that point.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I bounce off of that a little bit. I can agree with that. My outlook, obviously it's your opinion. I appreciate your opinion. I think my side is a little bit different. I think anybody that has a story is powerful enough on its own, no matter what your story or what it consists of being. Your story it's a major factor in this situation, and that's how I look at it.
I think I misspoke. I didn't mean to say I didn't care. I meant to say, like, I care, but I care with a fresh heart. Like, I want you to be better. I didn't. I might have said it wrong. I apologize.
No, I didn't take you as that. I just mean, like, I'm talking about the factor of him saying that his story does not compete to others. Anybody that has a story competes at the same rate. That's what I'm talking about. I wasn't about to go from like what you said there.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't. I wasn't taking away from your comment.
I was like, oh my god, I'm a terrible person.
We're all just so confused.
I wasn't bashing your comment. I was adding to it, in my opinion. I was adding to your comment with my opinion.
That's fine. You just almost maybe had a heart attack. I can't speak now.
You're good.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing. It's like anybody that has a story is just as enough impact as the other person that has one. I've had numerous conversations with a lot of people. I mean, we TallBoy, you and I have mutual friends of which also go through situations that have reached out to me, and I give 110% into talking with them as I would to anybody else here in this call. And their situation is the same as mine, and it's the same as y'all's, in my opinion. And it bothers me. They do have the antidepressants and stuff like that people take, and it helps people. If it helps certain people, bravo to you. It bothers me because I did make the comment that it is human nature, it is normal, but at the same time, in my opinion, to what I look at it, it's something that really can't be treated. It's something that we do have to deal with, and it sucks that that's the way to look at it, and it does not help the situation whatsoever, but it really isn't. I mean, it's not a mentality, it's a way of life, and that's we have no control on it. When I said that I was that guy that was like, don't think about it, my last relationship, the one that actually caused all of my problems, she dealt with anxiety horribly, like probably the worst set of anxiety I've ever seen, and this is before I had problems. And I would say the same thing, like, hey, I'm here. If you need me, I got you. Just get over it, get through it, get past it. That doesn't mean shit in the eyes of that person. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say shit.
You're completely fine.
It doesn't mean anything in the eyes of those people. At that point, it's a shot in the dark. I mean, it hurts.
Well, I mean, it's the same sort of thing as like, oh, someone, like people care about you. It's like, people don't believe something unless they see a direct effect. Because, I mean, like, it's always the whole thing of nobody cares about me. Plenty of people care about you. Where are they?
Yep.
And obviously, where the issue comes in with that is that every person needs something different from people. Some people, they need, I mean, like, to an extent, it's sort of like the 5 like love relationship types, like it's that sort of thing where it's like, okay, sometimes you just need quality time, sometimes it's you need to go out in nature, you need to whatever, like you need different people need different things from people to feel like they are cared about, which is like, that's one of the reasons why I generally try to get to know the situation at hand with an issue, because then it's okay, let's take all this into account and realize, okay, here's where these issues are. So instead of just, oh well, go exercise, for some people saying, oh, go exercise, I mean, either they'll refuse to, or they're like, really, that's it, that's all that's going to get me to be happy, because it's seen as this blanket of, this will solve everything, when no, you have to take multiple things into account whenever you talk about this sort of thing.
Yeah, honestly, like every therapist always talks about sport and exercise, and it's just like, I'm thinking about it. It's like, I can't barely make it out of bed. How should I do exercise every day? I'm really bad at routines. I have no sleep cycle, no cycle for eating, nothing. There's like no structure and all. So exercise won't help me because I won't do it.
Yeah, it's like, because
I may do it like one day, and then I'll
yeah, because
stop in the next.
I mean, because the biggest reason why it's always, eat well, exercise, it's because it releases certain hormones and endorphins that, generally help. But the issue with saying to just anyone, oh, go exercise, it's like, as you said, I can't get out of bed in the morning, and you're telling me I need to go exercise if I want to get over this. Like, what can I do in my situation, not what can anyone do in whatever situation.
And I can agree with that as well. At the same time, throw an idea out on the other party. That's my biggest thing when I help out my friends and stuff. I'm like, okay, depending on what the situation is, like let's say it's like relationship based or whatever like that, they come to me, they're complaining about their partner about something. I'm like, okay, maybe this is what he's thinking. It's a shot in the dark. It might not be true. So I always look at the other side of things. I went vegan for 2 years. I'm gonna tell you right now, the 2 years that I went vegan were the happiest 2 years of my life. And I honestly do. I do believe it was through the food. I felt healthier. I didn't feel weighted down. I felt so much stuff lifted off my shoulders. Now, I'm also not going to sit here and be like, hey, go vegan. Because I stopped being vegan due to chicken. The protein, the muscle build, and into working out. But, that is something I can understand to an extent because I went vegan for 2 years. But I do agree with you as is, that's not the scapegoat in this situation.
Yeah, it's like I mean, the way I'm talking, it almost sounds as if I'm saying, it's not helpful. It is helpful. It's just not the end all be all.
It's not a cure-all.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's I agree with you on that standpoint.
Yeah, and then Dreamer has been in the chat. That's why I struggled with insomnia combined with depression can really kick you in the teeth. Yeah, I mean, like.
If there would be a cure-all, we wouldn't be here talking.
Really?
Exactly. For 100%. And it's funny that not to throw his stuff out there, or whatever. I mean, he did put in the chat. He brought up the insomnia that then led, with depression. I did the 100-hour thing. I stayed awake for 100 hours straight. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, granted, I just did it for shits and giggles. I built amazing friendships because of it. I was in voice chats and Discord because of it, because I needed something to keep me awake. I built amazing friendships because of it. But from hours 75 to 100 were the worst 25 hours of my life. And sleep is a big factor. I will throw that out there now. I mean, I have heart issues, which is another thing of mine. If I don't get the right amount of sleep, let alone depression, my heart itself is telling me that I screwed up. And like it acts up horribly. So sleep's a huge factor as well. I mean, I would, to put that out there as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why doctors say, get an amount of sleep, diet, exercise.
Dude, I love.
Screw those guys. They don't stream. That's why.
They don't stream. I mean, there are doctors on Twitch.
Doctor on Twitch. God, dude, he ruins the status quo. Great guy.
I love sleep, man. Before any of my mental health issues started, I'm a big boy. I'm 6'5". I'm huge. I got like 15 hours of sleep, didn't have work and stuff, like straight. I love me some sleep, man.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my sleep schedule is so borked. Like, generally speaking, I will go and get to sleep at like 8 in the morning and sleep until 6 o'clock in the evening. That's normally what my sleep schedule is right now.
Chad, I have to tell you something about this man right here, Jacob, below me. I don't know where over there.
Yeah.
His screen. I got up to work at 4:30. He was on Discord at 4:30.
Oh my god.
Well, I was at that point. I was actually trying to get to sleep. I just had my phone on. I'm like, I guess I should reply to that.
I know people like that too. That because I get up between 3 and 4 o'clock, or I used to when I was still working. I got up between 3 and 4:30 a.m. East Coast,
Okay.
and all my friends West Coast are still awake and on Discord calls. And I'm like, you guys are wild.
That's I can't do that anymore, man. That, like, even on the weekends, I'm like 11 o'clock, guys. I'm going to bed. Tap out.
Yeah.
I always say I'm gonna stay up later, but I'm like, I'm out, guys. And they're like,
Never
what? And
happens
I'm like,
for
nah,
me.
dude, I need sleep.
Yeah, and then Dreamer is what of a form of genetic insomnia that makes staying in a constant cycle hard. The biggest thing for me has been just telling myself to go to bed even if I don't feel tired. Which, I mean, the thing is, for me, if I go to bed when I'm not tired, I have really either weird dreams or like I get into a half awake, half asleep state for like 4 hours, and it is weird.
I hate that feeling. But can I make a terrible joke on your stream?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Just rail a shit ton of Ambien like I do, man. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Good lord.
I don't do that. I don't do that. I promise. I'm kidding. Don't do that. You'll die. I think.
That's funny that you say that. I mean, not ambient. I'm
No.
I'm not saying anything about ambient.
okay,
but
pretty
I'm
sure.
not touching that.
I use melatonin. I use melatonin to get myself to sleep. And it's funny you bring up the
Melatonin.
It's funny that you bring
That's
up
what I
the,
actually take.
I knocked mine down.
Oof.
It's funny that you bring up the dreams. Another one, TallBoy, a mutual friend of ours, deals with horrible dreams, and that's one thing that I can say that I'm lucky. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. I have not, like, quote unquote, I know they say that everybody dreams, you just don't remember them. Instead of me just saying that, I always say that I don't dream. I have not had a legitimate dream since I was 16 years old.
See, and it's weird. I've, like, in the past...
I'm sorry, 13 years old.
Yeah, like, in the past, I want to say... like, year or so. Like, it's kind of an off and on thing, but, like, I've been dreaming more, and it's been really weird, because, like, for the longest time, because I think probably from when I was about... Actually, probably, like, 10 to, I'd want to say, like, 17 or so, it was really hard for me to actually have dreams, which just, like, and so now all of a sudden that I'm having them, it's like, this is weird, but okay.
I go through, like, spurts where I don't dream at all, and then for like another, like, for 3 months I don't dream, and then for another 3 months I'll dream constantly, and then I don't dream. But I've never had really a bad dream. Most of my dreams, I'm like the main character of an anime. I just like replace replace Naruto or something for like a day or whatever, and it's cool. Like, that's
actually epic.
See, it's interesting. Dream brings up that I know about his dreams. Dreamer, haha, funny enough, Dreamer has chronic nightmares, which he then uses to make horror games, which is more or less his coping mechanism.
That's kind of wild.
He's got some insane stuff that's happening.
I mean, that's making something good out of a
Mhm.
bad situation.
Yeah.
And
Things
I can
though,
appreciate that.
That's so smart.
things
I
though,
have
in
an
the
idea for
sense
you, Dreamer.
of like nightmares though, I can remember one nightmare very specifically. I think I was about 7 at the time. Like, and it was weird because to an extent I knew that I was dreaming, but it wasn't like I started having lucid dreams. So basically, I'm in. What just happened?
What did happen?
Are you okay? I think I was the only one who...
Chris, what happened?
Chris?
My bad. I just knocked my foot on the fucking table and I was like, oh, fuck.
I was laughing at him. I wasn't laughing at Jake.
Yeah, no, you're good.
No, we knew.
The reaction was funny.
But like we're in the backyard. It's me and I think my whole family was there, at least sibling wise. And then all I remember is that it was very Harry Potter themed, but it wasn't. But I remember this, like, it was a cone with basically the ball of a mace on the end of it, completely golden, and it was my wand, so to speak. And then in come these dark clouds, you know, like the storm's coming, and I'm just trying to, like, I'm not even saying anything, I'm just doing this motion, you know, like trying to banish the clouds. And then all of a sudden I just hear behind me the screen door break off of the house, and then it basically starts flying, and I don't remember exactly how it ended up happening, but basically, no, I think what it was is my family had just run inside because they were trying to escape the storm. And then, you know, like, but basically it wasn't, oh, they're inside the house, they're now inside the door. And then, you know, the storm kind of calms down, the door is on the ground, I open it, and I just see this void. And that's all I can remember from it, but it was freaky as hell.
I only remember one nightmare, and it was around the same age as you. Whoever thought a 7-year-old boy should watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they were wrong. I only remember this night. This is the only nightmare I remember vividly. I'm gonna spare a lot of details, but basically, I was being dragged by the collar by, you know, Leatherface, and seeing all my family members on meat hooks as I walked past a cornfield. And that dream literally went on for 3 hours in my head.
Oh my
like
God.
it started, it was basically a movie. It started, had a middle, and had a climax where I lost.
Oh my gosh.
I you know,
I was terrified.
It's funny. Maybe it's just like the age or whatever. I had the same thing. It's the last time like I remember actually dreaming. It was a week-long nightmare. I would wake up, do what I need to do, go to bed, and would start right back to where it was. The stuff going on within the stream, or the dream, I don't think is okay for stream, so I'm not saying anything about it. But it was a week-long nightmare. It was like I would wake up, like I would even wake up in the middle of the night, like freaking out about it, and then I would try to go back to sleep, and it would start right back to where it left off. And it went on for a whole week, 7 days of that.
That's freaky.
Not count me out. No, not cool.
Yeah, that's...
No, it's horrible.
Honestly,
It's like,
I never had bad nightmares.
Well,
you're lucky.
One.
I'm vibing with that.
The only one I had was like, as a little kid, I was like a little bit scared of the darkness. So the dream was, I had this dream like 1,000 times. It was always a different variation, and it was like me going down the stairs. Like
Lights
dark
off?
creature. No, the lights are on. The dark creature stands there, picks me up, eats me. At some points, I knew the dream so good that I was like, "What you gonna do? You gonna eat me, dude? Again?"
Okay.
Save me again. Then I was like, "Fuck, he ate me again. What am I gonna do now?" And then the next time, I just closed my eyes and. Cause I closed my eyes. I don't know how I closed my eyes in dreams. I thought that.
Who knows? Who really knows?
Yeah, but
Good
to
stuff.
go over to the another thing about it, dreams are whack.
dreams.
Coming from
Dreams
Dreamer,
be
dreams are
wild,
whack.
and boy.
I love that. That is why it's so funny. His name is perfect.
I know, it's really funny.
That's exactly.
Oh, we love you, Dreamer.
I heard you say something about like he turns nightmares into horror games as a coping mechanism or whatever.
Hello.
Yeah, and a lot of people have the same coping as I do. Music's a huge thing.
Good one.
Music is a big thing. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to, but I listen to NF. He's a rapper. He is huge, and like his music really breaks down the mental like instabilization of a lot of people. He literally has a song called Mansion where he breaks down different rooms of this mansion that he's talking about is different parts of his brain and things that like he tries to forget and locks into these rooms, like fear and stuff like that. And earlier I was cutting the grass and I was listening to him. I literally had his music on shuffle. I have every song he's ever came out with, and I had his on shuffle, and a song called Change, which I think is it's from oh man, I can't remember what album it's from. Change is there's a line in it that blows my mind. It's saying like I want stuff to change. I need things to change, and to a point where like he even said I've even thought about like I will talk to God if it's gonna make a change, and that's a huge thing. I mean it's true. I mean
in that sense, like, Oh Lord, I think was the first one that I really heard from him. Boy, oh boy, did that one hit me hard.
yeah. I mean, Therapy Session's a great song.
Yeah, I mean, hate myself. That one really just.
Yep, and
struck
a song that really digs deep or whatever like that is "Why Did You Leave Us?" It's about his mother, OD'd on pills, and it's like you don't really and it broke down deep. I mean, that's a hard hitting song. I cried the first time I ever heard it. And it has nothing to do with me. I mean, it was just such a deep song, and he digs so deep that it's actually great to listen to. I mean, it eases my mind on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like, because the thing is, and this is kind of something that I learned not as a mental health sort of thing. Promise Me by Bad Flower. Okay, Promise Me by Bad Flower. Dreamer played it in a Discord chat the other day. I have been listening to that thing non-stop. It is
really
because
I have to look at it.
It's a song about him losing his wife to cancer. At least Dream can confirm that for me or not. But like it hits. Like it is a hard song. But the thing is, one thing that I was kind of taught at a conference at one point was a really good technique, and like this was completely unrelated to mental health stuff. Like I think the class is called Master Your Influence. Basically it was kind of how to go and help people, read people, whatever. But basically the technique that he shared was go and have a cry playlist that you listen to at least once a week, where you just let yourself bawl. Because I mean, like, I've got I can look on Spotify. My sad songs playlist has 2 hours of music with 34 songs in it.
My cry time playlist is just 38 copies of Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh, where did it come from? Where did it go?
Where'd you go, Cotton Eye Joe?
I do the same thing. I have a playlist. It's literally called Sad. I made it because I lost a best friend of mine due to a drunk driver hitting the back of her vehicle, which is where those who have seen it, I'm not sure. I actually have it pinned on my Twitter. It's my pinned tweet. It's been that for 2 years now. The T is blue. That is the only bit of color I have on my skin, on any of my tattoos, and the T is blue, and that's because that was her favorite color, and her name was Taylor, and we called her T. Since then, I've made a sad playlist, something that it's gonna open up my emotions. It's gonna push me to that point of which I fear to get to, because like I said, I got through social anxiety because I forced myself to it. Forced myself to hang out with people. I forced myself to do things like that, and so I kind of had the same idea for that. If I'm in that mood, I'm going to force myself through that mood by listening to this playlist. Yeah. I agree with that too.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Warp.
On a serious note, one song that never really fails to make me cry is "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd. Man, when I if I'm in a mood, that just tears me up. Thinking about it's about to tear me up. Dude, that song is so powerful.
I actually just posted mine. They were on America's Got Talent. It's a sister and two brothers. It's called Heaven's Not Too Far. It's about their mother that they lost. and it's a song written in the eyes of their mom, and it is so powerful.
I'm
That
getting
song,
goosebumps.
dude.
Yeah,
That
I got
song,
goosebumps too.
that song put like it. I fight back tears every time I hear it. It is so powerful. It's amazing. And then another one that I'm big into is Todrick Hall is a YouTuber, amazing YouTuber. He's got extreme talent.
I actually had someone request one of his songs in one of my other streams.
His song "It Gets Better," and the situation is not built off of mental health. It's built off of because he is he is openly gay, and it was at the time before it was okay, and it's always been okay, but it was at the time before socially that people
okay.
accepted it.
Yeah.
It was socially accepted. It's always been okay, but before it's socially accepted, and when you were openly gay, a lot of people gave you crap because of it, and it was a song saying like, it doesn't matter how you are, it gets better. We get past this. Whatever hardship you're going through, it gets better, and it's amazing song.
Yeah.
I've showed it to my sister when she was going through some hardship, and you can use it in your own form. It doesn't openly say it's about this situation, but if you watch the music video, it does.
Yeah, it's like, for me, like, I mean, it's not like it shows up a whole ton, but I am a relatively religious person. But a couple of songs that really will get me is, I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but David Archuleta's Glorious. It's it's such, like, the thing is, it's one of those songs also where you can listen to it just casually, but like if you're needing one of those songs, I mean, that is one that I will just start breaking down crying to, because it's hopeful, but you can also know that it's okay to feel like it's one of those songs.
Can I ask you boys, a question?
Yeah.
So during this whole quarantine, I picked up a really bad habit that I'm trying to kick right now, nicotine, and that has honestly been the worst part of this whole quarantine for me personally. Now we're talking about quarantine. That's how for whatever reason, my brain was like, you need to cope with it, and this is how you're gonna do it, and that's rough, because I mean, I even have one right now. It's rough, man. I want to stop so bad because I have to be a fireman, but I digressed. I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask you guys.
I'm not gonna lie to you. So I grew up in the Hicks. If you look up the area of which I live, it's an hour and a half away from civilization, into the woods. I tell people all the time that have tried to get to where I was living, when you've hit the point where you've lost connection on your phone, go 10 minutes more. Like, that's how far back it is. When you're back that far, you pick up habits. I've picked up horrible habits that I've kicked, and then drinking. Due to drinking, I picked up smoking cigarettes. Horrible thing. I kicked it, and I picked up this. That's a horrible habit. It's 100% horrible. The way I looked at it and the way I was able to get through smoking because of it, I'm an athlete. I grew up playing football and baseball. And I'm a singer. I was a singer-songwriter. I got hired as a lyricist. I've done a lot of stuff. I came one audition away from being on live television for America's Got Talent because of a song that I wrote. Because of that, I was like, I need to stop smoking. I need to be able to run, and I need to be able to sing. This was my way out of it. And in my head, I was like, listen, I can live without gums. I cannot live without a lung. Granted, they're both horrible. They are both horrible habits, and I do not recommend anybody doing something like this, or even having the same train of thought that I had. But yeah, that was. I had it before quarantine. I've been doing this for a couple years now.
I just turned 21. Also, my family comes from Arkansas, so yeah, I get that part. But I picked up drinking as soon as I turned 21. Got a tattoo a couple days before. blah blah blah. Like but tattoos aren't bad, I don't think at all. But like,
No, I got my first at 18.
yeah, the nicotine thing, man, I need to kick it. I've been cutting back really hard, but I normally can just quit things cold turkey. For whatever reason, I've tried this and I can't.
I literally the same exact subject. I mean,
Yeah, literally, I
Yeah.
can't. It's hard.
See, because it's interesting you bring up the addiction thing, because I feel really weird talking about my strange addiction, so to speak. Which, for most people, once they hear it, they're like, well, how is that a bad thing? I am addicted to masturbation to the point where I over-masturbate, and being a fairly religious person as well, it's a struggle.
Yeah, that'd be hard, man.
Because, I mean, the thing
pun
is...
intended.
Yeah, didn't even realize. But the thing is, because the biggest thing that I struggle with is I just generally have a really addicting personality. Like, if I start something, like, I will do it. And so, like, I mean, the thing is, the biggest issue that I have with it is it's not even a thing of where I'm wanting to do it. It's just such a habit and it's so addicting. It's like, wake up, go to bed, on the toilet, whatever.
Yep.
Like, it sucks.
That's how I feel about sugar. Like, eating sugar.
Sugar
Like,
is like
dude,
the
sugar's
most
like...
addictive drug, dude.
It
Right.
really is, bro, and I can't... And
It's everywhere. Can't avoid
Well,
it,
okay,
like-
heroin's the most addictive drug. Let's not lie to ourselves here.
Well, I mean, technically, baristas are drug dealers.
Caffeine, man, caffeine. Oh, what is the most addictive? I'm gonna... pretty sure it's caffeine, actually.
Probably.
TallBoy, it's funny you say that. Hobson, I don't know if you guys listen to him.
I love Hobson so much.
So do I. He has a line in one of his songs. I don't remember which one it is because I've listened to a lot of his stuff. The line
Illmind
is
5.
jack off, go to sleep, wake up, jack off again. So that's literally the first thing that came to mind when you said that.
I know what song you're talking about. It's not Illmind 5, but he mentions it in Illmind 5 too.
Yes. I'm gonna go grab a water real quick, if that's okay.
Yep.
I'm just gonna fill my water. Thank you very much.
I've got mine here. This is a gargantuan container for water. But it's good.
earlier drank a tea for the Sim show.
You had so much milk in that thing, man.
I drank this
Wait, you
entire
saw that?
thing today. I drank an entire
My
gallon
tea was cold.
today.
Oh, holy shit, that's amazing.
I'm huge, man. I need water. I work outside all day as a security guard. I have to walk around.
Oh, yeah.
Hydrated, man.
Wait, what were we talking about? Addiction. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about, I don't know if you know Juice WRLD, probably, I guess.
Oh, man.
Yeah, did you hear the new song?
I've
He
not
literally
heard.
said like the lines, if it wasn't for the drugs I wouldn't be here, but if I keep taking these drugs I won't be here. Well,
And he was too right.
I mean, the thing is,
unfortunately, he was right.
in that sense, it's interesting. I have a weird habit of being the smartest one in the room occasionally, where basically, like, if I'm in a class or something where, like, it's relatively small, but it's not like it's, really small, generally speaking, whenever I speak up, it's kind of one of those moments where people are like, wait, whatever.
I know that, yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just a thing where I think it's mostly just because I can think a lot about, like, a lot, but also do it very deeply, very quickly. But so to a certain extent there, the reason I'm bringing that up is I will occasionally dabble in music writing, specifically lyrics, because I cannot write music to save my life, but, like, if it's, oh, hey, I need to get what's out of my head, what's in my head, put it on a piece of paper, get it to a message. But I actually have a song that I want to get produced at some point, maybe with a few tweaks. but the song is called Trapped. I wrote it back in about January. And basically, the song is more or less about just the fact that I feel trapped in my own head, that I feel like there's no way out. I mean, the chorus goes, if I go, what even changes? If I say everything's the same, if I go, there's nothing left here, everything just fades away. But I have in, I think it's my bridge, the line, the drugs help me move along, but if there's one thing that I can't deny, I sure as hell don't feel strong. And because this was when I was still back on antidepressants, but yeah, just
Yeah.
and Douchey just seems so confused.
No, I'm with you, man. I mean, I have to take muscle. I've told you this before, Jacob. These two gentlemen don't know. I have to take muscle relaxers basically every day because I broke my spine when I was 15, and it never healed. So I'm not addicted to them. Like I can go without them, but if I don't take them, which they make me feel a little weird, my back will hurt so bad I like cry, like 24/7. So it's a lose-lose pretty much. But and my family gives me crap for taking them, but I'm like, oh, you guys go break your spine. My doctor literally equated my back to the spine of an 80-year-old woman. He's like, your spine looks like you're an 80-year-old woman. What, this one disc? It's insane. But my family gives me crap for having to take the pill. So
It's interesting you bring up family, because that is a really interesting thing that happens a lot. Is that family, especially if something develops over time, they will get so hard on you for doing something because, well, you didn't have to do it before, so why do you have to do it now? Like, I mean, for me, it was online, like, content creation. Like, I mean, when I was 14 or so, I made the decision that I wasn't going to go on a mission, you know, which is what basically everyone else does when they're 18 here in Utah. But basically, I made the decision that I wasn't going to go on a mission, I was going to go and pursue content creation. And that probably kind of affected their perception of it, but that was kind of more of a just, I made the decision in my head. It wasn't something that I openly talked about with my family. But my mom specifically would just berate me for doing anything, like, you should be making your YouTube videos, they're stupid, they're not gonna equate to anything, whatever, like,
I get that.
yeah, I decided not to talk about this at the time when I was telling you guys my story, but one of the major factors of my depression that I feel like I'm starting to begin to work through within myself was my mom, man. She would call me fat. She'd keep telling me I'm never going to pass the firefighter physical exam. She would say, you're so smart, why are you going to school to be a fireman, blah, blah, blah. Like a bunch of just berating me and just making me feel so much lesser than what I actually am. And then she made fun of my fighting, which I take great pride in. You know, I want to be a UFC fighter soon. Mm-hmm. Like I love to fight. I love all that stuff, and she loves taking pride in like breaking you down, and that's rough from your own mom, which was my only parental figure for 10 years of my life. I mean, with my grandparents, but
because the way that I always looked at it, and this is partially just me trying to cope with it and find some way of explaining it, but the way that I generally look at the way that my mom, specifically when I was like 14 or so, would treat me was she had this vision of, you know, because I'm the middle child, one older brother, one older sister, and then two younger sisters. And so the way that I look at it is she's like, you know, specifically my older brother, you know, I was in scouts until I was like 16. That was mostly because the entire rest of the group refused to do anything scouting related. And the thing is, and to an extent, I feel kind of, I guess maybe not stupid, but kind of unintelligent about making the decision to not get my eagle, because I worked my ass off to get that. Because a lot of what would happen is, you know, you'd go to a scout camp and they'd sign you off on, like, I mean, I remember we went to one scout camp where they had the canoeing merit badges and available, merit badge to get. And then, oh yeah, we'll sign off on your blue card. There was no lake. Like, I don't know, it's something about central Utah, just nobody gives a damn about the requirements. But like, I went and I made sure that on every merit badge that I got, I mean, there was probably a few where I had a little bit of a slip up, but I made sure I put in the work. Part of that was my mom pushing me to do it, but also it just felt good to know I've actually got this. But literally the one thing that kept me from getting my Eagle was I needed to do an Eagle Scout project, which I had an idea for. I just never did anything with it because mostly my I don't like to say social anxiety, but that's probably what it was. Basically, being homeschooled my whole life, I just wasn't very social, and so I didn't get out, whatever. But, like, she had this perfect image of, he's gonna get his license, he's gonna get his Eagle, he's gonna go on a mission, he's gonna whatever. And then once I started veering from that, she's like, no, you're not gonna do that. This is what you're doing. Just parents be rough sometimes.
That's kind of how my mom was with certain things. When I told her I wanted to be a fireman, sorry, douchey. You want to go?
No, finish what you're saying.
I was gonna actually be I wanted to be an astronaut or a marine biologist. I'm really smart. I could have gotten either one if I actually applied myself. My one bad subject is math. I don't like math, so I threw out being an astrophysicist. I went to marine biology, and then I realized you can't make any money doing it. So then I settled on firefighting, but my mom was like, this isn't what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be a marine biologist. I just wanted to study sharks the rest of my life. I love sharks. She got so angry, but she's like a complete environmentalist. Like, she has an environmental degree, environmental resource management or something. So of course she wants me to do something about the environment. But like, I don't know. She wants to plan out everybody's lives for them. Even her sister, even my grandma, who I live with now, like her own mom. It's crazy. That's what my mom likes to do, 24/7. It's rough.
So for me, I made the comment about like a lot of my depression falls for like I don't feel like I spend too much time, and like I spend a lot of my ability every bit that I can spend with my father I do. And it just doesn't feel enough mentally for myself, and that's what drives me crazy. My parents divorced when I was a very young age. I think I was like 2 or 3, and for most of my life I saw my father every other weekend. And then there was a short amount of time where a couple months where my mom wouldn't let us go over there, period. I live with my mom and everything like that. I grew up living with her and stuff like that. And my mom, as well as the rest of the side of her family, are very selfish. When they don't get things certain their way, they act upon it, and you could tell that they're pissed off because of it. My mom is acting on doing guilt trips into getting us as kids to do what she wants. And that drove me crazy. That is what led to, not only was I doing football and baseball, which took up a lot of my time, I did chorus and theater in high school to then take up all of my free time so that I was not home because I didn't want to go home. At the time, my stepdad and I had a horrible relationship. At 10 years old, he looked me dead in my eyes and said that he's a better father than my father will ever be. And my dad is everything to me. And that drove me crazy. Now him and I are okay. That lasted for about, I don't know, until I was probably about 16. And when I turned 16, him and I started leveling out because we both, my mom started irritating him as well, and we both had a mutual subject. So we were able to team up with each other. That's what Dilla did that.
Mutual subject. Mom's a bitch.
I laughed exactly relate. I laughed.
No. Everybody laughs at that. All my friends laugh at that. It is funny. I find that hysterical. That's what drove us together. But the same deal. I was, I don't say it, as I said, due to my last relationship, a lot of my mental health showed up. But thinking back on it and everything like that, I think I did deal with a little bit of stuff back then. I was an all-state chorus in 8th grade. which are the best singers in the state of Maryland. And it was a weekend. And on my way home, I didn't say a word. I didn't speak a single word. I was upset. I was sad to go home. I was sad to leave the people that I met. You know, every bit about it. You know, I think I did deal with a bit of depression when I was a kid. You know, looking back on it, you know, I never say anything about it or talk about it, you know, but I've never thought about it in that sense. But it might be that. You know, I every second I was home, it drove me crazy. I felt locked up, I felt cooped up, and I felt like I had nowhere to go.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing with me is, like, I want to have kids someday, and I do not, under any circumstances, want to be a reason why they have to deal with anxiety or depression. Because, I mean, like, I remember, it's a big thing for me to, like, remember situations where I had, like, a certain feeling to a certain, whether it's assignment that I was given from my parents or demand, whatever. I mean, the biggest one for me, I think I spent a good, like, hour or so thinking about this last night, was, you know, how do you train your kids to do the dishes, but not begrudgingly and not out of spite? Because the thing is, I was the kid in, like, the whole chain, because basically, to a certain extent, as I was growing up, you know, it was like, okay, you know, older sister, you know, you're taking care of the laundry now, and then older brother, you're taking care of the dishes, and then, you know, basically it would go up the ladder of, you know, you take on the next responsibility. When I finally got my time to do dishes, I just said no. And then they're like, what? No, you have to say yes. It's like, no, I don't want to do the dishes. And then they, like, my parents are a bit of control freaks. My, like, for instance, right now it's not too big an issue, but it was a really big issue, especially when I was like 16, 17, where they would put hard limits on the internet just because. It wasn't like I was doing anything. I mean, I was on the internet constantly, but it's not like I was doing anything terrible or whatever. But basically it was, you know, you only get this much time that you can be in a browser or whatever. Like, it was asinine just how much they were restricting us. And the thing is, like, they're currently doing it with my two younger sisters, where, like, my youngest sister, she put an alarm on her phone like 5 minutes before she's supposed to be off for the night, and then apparently my mom got all up in arms about it. It's like, what? No, why? Like, it's just like, I basically, the way that I want to run it is I want to see how these things have worked with me, now they've not worked with me, and then just make it so they just work.
I'm gonna be scared to be a dad if they're anything like me, man. God dang. Oh my god.
I have to admit something, because we're talking about it, and sorry, douchey. I'm a big asshole when it comes to, like, restrictions. It's like,
oh, 100%.
Okay.
I was the kid who would go into the BIOS of the computer, essentially, to get around limitations. Like, Microsoft has a whole thing where it's like, oh, hey, you know, you can set limitations for your child, and it would be like, oh, hey, look, now you get 4 hours of computer time when you've had literally unlimited and you've been perfectly fine. But what I would do, it was so scummy of me, I would go and ask my dad to, because basically I had my own computer when I turned 15, I think, because it was my grandparents' old computer, so basically they're just like, here, have this, you know, you have your own device. So my dad was the admin on it. So anytime I needed to install anything, anytime I needed to do anything, anytime I needed to run certain programs, which this was when I was starting to get into streaming. Hey, IGBTC Jacob, Twitch, thank you for the follow, appreciate that. But basically, does anyone know what XSplit is?
Yes.
Yes.
So basically,
Yep. Trash.
it's so bad, but the thing is, my
So
computer
bad.
couldn't run anything else. But so basically, I would have him run it as an admin for me because, well, I needed it to be able to run. But the
Dad, I just need it for things.
But the thing is, you guys are kind of boring. Not trying to be mean.
We're having a serious talk about.
It is what it is.
If this was a Jacob stream, I would tell you how I feel right now. All right.
Fortnite dance right now, dude. But I can't Fortnite dance on depression. It is what.
I mean, maybe that's
Hey.
the maybe that's the cure.
Maybe
Thanks for
that's
the
the
host,
all
Jacob.
cure for. Everybody just needs the Fortnite dance.
Stop with their depression, bro. Just floss on
But
it.
basically, to
Fixes
continue, so basically, I would go and I would have him do it, and I'd found this out completely accidentally. I could go and go into, basically there was, I think, like a help section, and then it was like help center or something. So I would click on it, and it opened up his Chrome account with all his passwords in it. So I'd go into his Microsoft account, realize before this I had learned his Microsoft account. Like the random string of digits, I memorized it to get around this sort of thing. So I went and basically I would just change my time limits, and then before I got off at night, I would go and revert them back so that he hopefully wouldn't be able to figure it out.
Clever.
So
That's
smart.
clever.
And the thing is, like,
never made, like,
eventually,
an effort.
once I became an admin on my own computer, I went and found the file that would go and put the limitations on, simply deleted it. Got no issues. On the bottom
That's so
left,
fucking smart.
I can
Guy on the
see.
bottom left, I can tell your barber when doesn't see myself.
Oh, I'm sorry, bitch. What'd you say?
Yeah. I mean, just gonna say,
Somebody didn't have to wake up at 3 in
all
the
of us
morning.
here, like, on point with the hair.
Very handsome man.
All right. You know what? Come to my stream tomorrow.
Oh, this is great. This is the most action I've seen on
I'll be right
stream
back.
ever. Oh no, I know what he's getting.
No cap.
No cap. Okay, boys. So Jacob made the like the smart approach. I made the I'm a fucking how's it called?
What the?
What the hell is that, War? He can't even hear us.
What'd you say about my hair, mate?
Oh, good lord, War. What is that?
That is what?
Oh, that's
Wait, I have a
beautiful.
I have a mullet wig.
Oh.
I still have no wig. I just have the fucking leopard, and I don't wanna.
One more time.
Oh, are you guys allowed to steal all I search?
My first troll. We got one, boys. We got
Hey,
one.
listen. When you have
Hey,
your
look,
first
I
troll,
made it.
we're kind of in. Now we only need like one follow bot, dude, and we're in.
Oh, yep. There we go.
Chris,
Final.
we know a guy that could do that.
Oh, we know a guy. We know a guy indeed.
Fuck, dude.
Oh,
How many pirate headpieces you got?
I think that's just without the hat.
Different one?
9 pieces
Oh,
of
yeah.
bait, mate.
No.
He's a rock. Anyways, go ahead, Chris. What were you saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah, my approach was to be. How's it called when you're like. Whatever happens, you just don't do the shit they want. I just went to sleep.
Rebellious?
No, it's like
Obstinate.
in German it's like you're having a hard head, but I don't think that translates to
Stubborn.
anything in like a stubborn. Yeah. Very stubborn. Literally, they forbid me anything. I went to bed and I was like, yo, wake me up when the internet works again, dude. And I slept.
Hey, Jacob, make me on your channel right quick.
Oh,
Nothing ever. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that.
yeah. Although, yeah.
I just,
Jacob,
hey, you can
stop,
offend,
or you will be
can
banned.
make fun of me. You can't make fun of the other 3 people here, or I'm gonna meet you in a ring and I'm gonna break your femurs with my hands.
Yo, I fought like a mean e-girl today, You're nothing, dude. You're nothing.
She was not mean, Chris.
Shut up, dude.
She was a sweetheart,
She was mean
dude.
to
Are
him.
you fucking kidding
I mean,
me?
maybe she was cool with me because, like, when she kicked me, she was like, I didn't want to. I just had to pick somebody, and she didn't know who I was, which a lot of people do that.
You always play
That's
this,
all,
like,
that's always what happens with you,
I didn't
douchey.
even
It's always
play
either
the
they think that you're an
sweet
asshole.
Chris, I didn't even play the wholesome
the
card this
sweet
week or
boy.
last week.
Yes,
I actually knew
I'm
who
the
she
wholesome
was this
boy.
week.
Please don't kick me. And then
Chris,
she's like,
I actually knew her this week!
What are you talking about? Hey,
I should
so
know who she was.
you guys want to see my tattoo?
Don't know
Agent the
Quincy?
subject.
Oh,
What's that?
sure.
Bruh. Oh, what are we talking about? Do
I'm
we have-
jacked, ho. I'm just kidding.
Ooh.
Doomslayer.
That's
I
awesome.
like it.
Guess what? That's gonna be you. Whatever your stupid username was with an underscore.
Or I'm gonna meet you
Kid.
at TwitchCon and you guys are gonna be kicked out. We're all gonna get kicked out cause Corona. It is what it
he's-
is.
Gonzo. Dang it! I didn't see what he said.
Whatever, it doesn't
He said
matter.
he's gonna meet us at TwitchCon, and then we're all gonna be gone.
Oh, dude, I would mob you.
At what TwitchCon? Dude, TwitchCon?
Yeah, what
2023,
TwitchCon really
dude.
though?
Bruh.
'Cause-
I'm gonna teach these three guys how to kick ass and take names, and we're coming for you. All right?
Actually,
teach me.
used
I
to
don't
do
even
MMA.
know.
Well, I teach two people now.
Are you kidding me? I just intimidate him away. Like, I'm scrawny, but I'm a tall boy.
My
Ha 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 ha.
in, they can reach through reality and choke you at any point of the world. It is what it is.
Oh,
I'm too fat to change reality.
To go back on it, Chris, I didn't even pull the wholesome card this week, and I didn't even pull the wholesome card last week. I was tops last week and still made it longer than you.
anyway.
Yo, dude, I called Shadow that he's dead built like a baked bean, and I still made it further than you did.
Oh,
Last week was such a scuffed show, not gonna lie. Nothing against
no,
anybody,
you're
but
right. You did it.
Hey, are you guys gonna be on Thursday's show?
Next Thursday?
Mm-hmm. This guy's on there.
nice.
dude, you're simping on my sister, and
On
I
the-
will be there
On the
too.
Sim Show?
Wait, Bella's
What
your
show are you
sister?
Hold up,
Hello
are we
Kitty?
talking about the same show?
Yes, that is what he was talking about,
You're
Chris.
talking about Bella Kitty, right?
Hello Kitty.
Yeah, Bella.
That's
Kitty.
That's not his real sister. This guy's
okay.
weird, dude. He's got a quote-unquote family where he allows
mega
literally.
simp.
I'm
He's
surprised.
Like, he's like, I have a
Spider,
cold, dude.
Spider, I'm surprised he hasn't asked you to be his uncle because everybody that he meets for the first time, he's like, "Oh, do you want to be part of the family, bro? Like,
Already is,
do
dude.
you want to be part of my family?" It's like
People to the family.
I'm not a part of it because it's
Uncle?
becoming like really bad.
Oh,
He allows
I-
too many people. But yeah, I'll be on
Can
this
I,
week.
can I be the strung out uncle that has way
Yes.
too much money, like the CEO uncle who's strung
no,
out?
that's what I want to
there's
be. I
already a
want to
money
be that uncle.
We have a money uncle, but CEO uncle is.
Can I be the
We
cool
can have
uncle
everything.
that like teaches you how to fight and use nunchucks and takes you on a dirt bike and then makes your mom mad at me?
See, let's be honest here.
Chris's face. He's like,
I would be the uncle that is either
like,
seen as
wait,
the
what
fun
episode?
uncle or the uncle that's just really weird and really tall.
You don't want to be the weird uncle.
Yeah,
Nobody
you-
wants to be the
nobody
weird
Okay,
uncle.
I stream on
Nobody wants
Twitch.
to be-
Never go full weird.
Never go
I
full-
stream on Twitch. How is that not
We're about to have a-
weird to
we're about
most
have a
people?
Bob 7 in here right now.
Yeah, I stay away from the film, but yeah, I'll be on this week. I usually go on. I usually go on regardless. I think I've been on like the last like 10 weeks.
What's
11
it
weeks.
like?
Save.
Tell
It's-
me.
Like,
Chris,
yo,
that's
it's
a lie.
Thursday.
Warped. As a man who has
Those 2
had
weeks
one
I
of
was on
these
without you.
things, it's
But,
nice. Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
I'm gonna get a
granted,
show soon.
Ours-
If you
I'm
go,
gonna
if
get
you
a
go and
show.
actually simp, you'll probably make it further than I do because at this point I've won already. I stole a solid $150 bag from Amber_00, which is the highest amount of money that has ever been given away for that show. So at this point, my ego is really high, and I just go on there and just be toxic. So if you go on there, and actually simp, you'll be good. The only way I would tell you right now, the only way that there's no hope for anybody is if Buff Lovin's on there. It's game over forever.
I'm pretty.
Really?
What are you talking
It
about?
doesn't matter, dude. They're actually dating.
Oh, that's not fair.
Exactly.
You know, okay,
bro.
so it was
So
so
Buff's there
funny because
screwed.
Douchey, were you there? Were you two there when I came on the Simp Show?
Little Alleys, right?
Yeah, were you?
Yeah, I was there.
Do you
I was
remember?
gonna be there.
Oh yeah, I was that.
That was a
dude.
lot of fun.
I remember what I just love is the fact that I come in and Scumbag's just like, I'm lost.
Yeah, everyone is like, I'm fucking gone. Dude, she kicked me, and I was like, and then I bought myself back because I was like, no. Because she was like,
no,
oh,
no,
you're
no, no,
Sushi
no.
Kikuchi, you're probably not a nice person. I'm like, no. I bought, like, literally, I had $10 set up for myself to be bought back, and then she kicks me, and I'm like, all right.
Well then.
And then so she, and like they were like, why'd you kick Douchey? And he was like, when he was saying all the like that he's a nice person, everybody was going no, which it was just Wembo. Wembo was the only one saying no.
Because Wembo was being
She
Wembo.
was like, everybody was saying no, and then also your name is Douchey Mikuchi, so you're probably not a nice guy. And I'm like, oh, all right, Dom, just kick me, Dom, and then I'm gonna buy myself back regardless. So just kick me now. And like as soon as I got off the screen, I hit enter and bought myself back. And when I came back, Wembo went first for so you get 2 minutes of one-on-one conversation. Everybody gets 2 minutes of one-on-one, and then in between each one is like a banter.
Because I'm trying to remember, was it that one that I was like, hey Wembo, you seem to be talking a lot. Maybe you should have your 2 minutes after he had been talking such shit on everyone.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, if Wembo's on there, dude, him and I are going back and forth. Except for this week. This week was actually kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
Him and I would chill. But usually him and I go back and forth.
I'm pretty damn good at shit talking. Like, unfortunately, I kind of learned it through the roughness. And Dave Chappelle. I learned from Dave Chappelle.
Well, the bad thing is now that I've met you, so I have no problem holding back, and I will probably universing you.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. As long as it's gentlemen, you know.
Yeah. Well, and so.
Gentlemen's bout.
I'm sorry, I can't give you my hand. Corona's still out. Sorry.
I'm gonna date your sister.
So, but the I bought myself back, and then like it wasn't Wembo. Somebody had their 2 minutes, and as soon as the 2 minutes were up, Wembo instantly started talking crap about me.
Oh
I
yeah, I
want my 2 minutes, and he was like, "You want it now?" And I was like, "Yeah." So like we instantly went into my 2 minutes. I was like, "Okay, listen, I literally bought myself back to clear my name. You can kick me after this round. I have no care in that. This is who I am," and pretty much threw it out there on the line. And then she ended up keeping me, and I was like, "Why did you keep me? I told you to kick me." Like,
see, I was so sad because I made it through the first round, and I was like, "Oh, this is so great, whatever." And then the second round, I lost because like I kept saying like, this is how you simp, whatever. Because basically, Dom had told me, "Oh yeah, it's a simp show, not a dating show." And so basically I attempted to simp. I have no idea how to do that. I don't know how to date. I don't know anything.
Nobody has a like an idea how it works.
Beg for her OnlyFans link and then say you'll get the top tier subscription.
I'm not a simp
say
at all.
only refrigerators, cause like OnlyFans is like.
I hope nobody from that show sees this, but I'm not a simp. Normally it's the reverse. So
I mean, you're such
it comes at the end of the show. If you end up winning, they ask you, "Are you simping or are you stealing?" And it's like $50.
Also, what happened today with the whole? Wasn't she like, wait, aren't they supposed to come up with it before? I'm like, no, that's Raj's thing.
Yeah. She was like, "Oh, don't they have it preset?" I'm like, no, we don't have it preset.
Yeah, no, it's like
there was a time before we do this, we'll make sure that.
Like, I don't get it why it should be a problem, dude. Like,
okay, we're good. So there was one show, Maria 2000s. I wrote down on a card, and it was a Joker card, and I put simp on it, and then I wrote the time and date, so I could be like, this is what I'm doing. But then I also highlighted the word joke. Meaning that I was stealing the money, baby.
Oh
but
my!
I didn't make it.
Cruel.
So like throughout the night, I'm like, oh yeah, I have it written down. It's right. Why do I have a blue card with my pink cards?
I don't know.
dude, today I wrote Kari like when she was like ranting about when she was ranting about the whole thing that we don't have the pre-chosen thing. I like everybody wrote Kari like something, and I was like. Simp Pepe left because she's gonna kick me anyway. It is what it is.
Oh, I didn't.
I feel so bad for you, Chris. I'm gonna hold.
Why?
I'm gonna hold you. You keep getting kicked out, man.
They call me round one king.
He gets round. Yeah, he gets round to one, except for one time he won.
Yeah.
Oh. But every other time he's been the first person announced for round one. And Chris, I just want you to know that that is actually done on purpose now because it's a meme. Because you
I know.
you pointed it out to him, so now he purposely says your name first.
Of course, if you point out something, then it's gonna just get completely, yeah.
I feel like I should come up with a character.
Dude, my character is I literally get drunk before the stream.
That, you know, I don't do the same thing. I get a little belligerent, but I think it'll be alright. And I work the next day. Yeah.
I get drunk before the stream just so I can be content. Dude. Like at this point, I don't even care about winning. As long as I can be content.
Because they want you back if you're content.
Well, even when I wasn't content, like they always ask me to.
They take you always. They always.
Oh, that's so nice of them.
They always what? They always send it to me.
See though, now to use this to get into further discussions, since we've kind of gone on topic.
That wasn't the topic.
Wait, what? Hold up.
Whatever. You're all good, but basically to get back to more of the initial topic at hand, it's been very interesting for me in particular, because like especially when I was on the recruitment show and where you were there as well, like generally speaking, I'm pretty certain everyone's like, oh yeah, this is a cool guy. I've gone on like 0 shows simply because I don't talk to people. Welcome to that whole thing in my head.
I've been annoying the crap out of everybody who mentioned they want me on, so. And I annoyed the crap out of Doc to get me on the audition for the Austin audition show, so.
I have Dom, 100%. You know, I met Dom through another person's stream, and Dom proceeded to ask me to come on the Domcast. It would just send me to Zoom, and I would come on there. I've met amazing people, and then next year he was like, "Hey, Smokey does the show." No, he was like, "Do you want on?" I was like, "Yeah." So then he just continuously asked me to come on. I've met amazing people, which then have now led to me being on more and more shows. So that's,
I mean, like,
you know,
can we just sit for a minute
like
and
that.
just simp on Dom? Like, the man's an absolute legend.
Him and I, every single sip show, him and I are messaging back and forth in the DMs.
I mean, just
Yoga pants.
I would literally send stuff, and he'd be like, "Dude, why don't you say this on the show?" And I was like, "Because I used it on you." I literally, except for this show because he wasn't there. Oh, this show and last show because he wasn't there for him. So this show, last show I didn't do anything. This show I was in a private voice call with Wimbo the whole entire show. The whole entire show. He got kicked round 1. The whole second round, I had Wimbo in my ear as I'm talking.
nice.
And like, there's times where like I would say random things just so that he knows that I can hear him, and all I do is hear him in my ear going, What are you doing? He's like, "No, you just look weird. Don't do that." And then like everybody got quiet, and even Quincy was like, "Who are you talking to?" And I'm like, "Oh, myself." And he's like, "Look what you did."
Oh, just the voices.
It's just the voice.
Like, what?
Oh.
Like there's times where I randomly scream because he was like, "Just scream something random." And I'm like, "Ah!" And that's when he just like, yes, more momentum.
That's
That
when you
was
play
like
the
part of my
penis
favorite
game,
sip
bro.
show. What's that?
That's when you play a penis game on like a show. Who can say penis the loudest on a show without getting caught? Dude. That's gonna be us, Duchy. That's gonna be us.
Next week, boys.
Next
Oh.
week.
I had the most fun. That was like this show was a lot of fun because of that. But like getting if we go back on topic and everything like that, that literally everything that Dom has done for me and stuff like that. I always say that Dom made me on Twitch. Like he gave me the name that I have. Obviously, I came up with my name. My name is built to an extent because of everything he's done for me. And during quarantine and stuff like that, Twitch and the amount of shows and the amount of people meeting that I've done and mingling has really helped me through so much hard time. And it has opened me up to others, other people's stories in which I can learn and understand and try to help them through, which has been better than myself. So quarantine, yes, it's been hard on everyone, but it's actually been very helpful on my end due to that fact.
Yeah, because I've occasionally spoke about how I met Dom. Basically, I was, you know, for a long time on Twitch, I was very off and on. Like, I would stream consistently, like, every other day or every day for, like, 2 months, and then I just dip. Like, no Twitter, no nothing, just, I'm gone. And then, eventually, it was in about, like, mid-May. And then there was also, basically what happened was, I had made the decision, okay, I'm going to do something at least every other day. So that's what my current schedule is that you will, unless I say on Twitter, you will never see me less than every other day. Like, you'll occasionally see me, like, you know, 2 days in a row, 3 days, whatever. But basically, I was, you know, I'd started doing this, and then I've done a few Tiltify like charity streams for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and so they, you know, they have my email, whatever, and then they sent out a message like, hey, we're trying to raise $10,000 in, I think it was a week, you know, I think it was just called Streaming Together or whatever. So basically I used that to go and hopefully get a little bit more of myself out there. You know, I was using the hashtags. But I go, and whenever I do, specifically, I will do singing and a game called Coloring Pixels. It's just a color by number game on a pixel basis. And so basically I'll do that for a couple hours. So I happen to be going and doing that, but then because, you know, you gotta play the algorithm, I simply went into just chatting instead of going into the game. And so that's how Dom found me. And what he did is, it was like 1:30 in the morning, I think. And then I have here some old, like, school stuff from when I was in high school, homeschool, but my high school, homeschool, whatever. And so I've got a lot of art things there, so I was starting to show them on stream. And then I just see in my chat, Mustache Dom, yell Fridge Gang.
Oh!
We were there. We were there, dude.
So
I was there for
basically,
that one.
really?
Well, yeah, there was a group of us. There was like 4 or 5, or well, 5 to
Sitting
like.
in there like,
Yeah, there's like 5 to 10 of us that would sit in voice chat and go to random people's streams and be like, Fridge Gang.
But the thing is, because he's like, you know, yell Fridge Gang, I'm like, you know, I would, but it's 1:30 in the morning and I don't know my parents coming down. And he's like,
I remember that now.
Yep.
yeah, and then I'm just like,
About that.
Fridge Gang. And then basically from that, he's like, hey, you want to come on the recruitment podcast? Sure. And then I ended up having to go and DM him, and then he didn't respond on Twitter. Then I had to go into the actual chat and then start DMing Bella like, hey, so Dom wanted me on this thing. Is that still happening? And it's like, yeah, here's the Discord.
That's so funny. Yeah, dude, there's a group of us for like a while there. I mean, yeah, that's like Fate Stun Us thing, was Fridge Gang, and like now he's a nobody on Twitch, really. Because he decided to take a 2-month hiatus, which anybody that takes 2 months, you know damn well you're not going to come back at where you were.
Unless you're soda popping, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, he came today, he was on the Sim Show today, and that's the first thing he's been on Twitch in 2 months. So, like, and like...
Oh, wasn't it? He was on the Sim Show when I was there.
With what?
He was on when I was there with
Was
Ali.
he there for a little
Yeah.
Ali? Oh, my
Oh yeah, he
apologies.
was on Little Alley's, I think.
My apologies. Then
She was cute. I'm mad I missed that one, man. I would have flirted with her.
I had a good time. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
She's good people. And that's the best part. So like, you know, the mingling and stuff like that. You know, I tell people all the time. You know, coming back on topic a little bit again. I really feel that, like, you know, going with the tattoo, friends and the family you choose. I feel that like a good group of friends can help you through a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
And I preach that to a lot of my friends. You know, if you're feeling down the dumps or whatever, let's do a movie night on Discord. Get everybody together. Let's just sit there, relax, and watch a movie. You know, make jokes, laugh. You know, enjoy ourselves. It's a great thing to do and everything like that. And then, you know, with the Sim Show and everything like that, I mean, I've developed amazing relationships with people. Momo Ogimoto is a complete sweetheart. I met her through the Sim Show. She booted me round 2. And her reasoning was, you're way too nice. I'm not considering you a simp. You are not a simp. You are just generally a great person. So because of that, I'm not keeping you on here to give you the name of simp. You're better than that.
Oh.
You know, what kind of what better compliment is that? I mean, like, and so, like, you know, her and I have a great relationship due to it. And, you know, Kari, Car and I are amazing friends, and you know, she was the first ever sim trip I went on. You know, Tailspin. Like I've met amazing people because of it, and it's not done nothing but helped my mental state of mind. Just because I have all these people now that I can speak to.
Way.
That is Chris. It's weird. Stop. God. No one cares.
My bad.
Twisted.
I'm scared.
Don't worry, Warts. I'll
Just
hold
play
you.
Call of Duty with me. It gets 10 times worse.
Dude, play Sonic Adventure Battle. Bro. I get so mad.
So y'all saying play something with me? I want someone to play Lego games with. Like, come on.
Dude, okay.
Lego Star Wars.
2 points. And this is my ADHD acting up, and I'm sorry. I keep
You're
going
good.
off
You're
topic.
good.
I'm trying my best. We need to do this more often. The 4 of us are like you
Oh,
3.
yeah.
And also, if I'll play Legos, or you can play Satisfactory with me and my boys.
I have been meaning to get Satisfactory for a
It's-
while.
Oh my god, I
Looks
love
like a
it.
good game, definitely.
It's so fun, dude.
Yeah,
What were we talking about before we
Lord,
definitely
Lord,
I'm
Lord,
telling you not to talk about, you know, your mom. I'm pretty sure he was yelling about, "Don't do it!" is what I heard.
oh yeah, true.
Stop it!
Chris, we were talking about how I lost the game. But
Who do you think you are? Where do you get off?
I was a theater kid, dude. What are you talking about? But Lord was the reason why I
What was the
re-downloaded
name?
Call of Duty because of the cross-platform abilities,
Mm-hmm.
and he was so excited to play and everything like that. And I was like, Gore, it's like, prepare yourself. And he's like, oh, I'm streaming it. I was like, yeah, I don't know if you want to stream it.
No.
Dude, you'll
stream
hear
when I
me.
play
So like,
COD.
you'll hear me like smack the mic. You'll hear this sound, right? You'll hear it. I push it away from me. I'm like, this game sucks. And then I move it back like all casual, and Gore's just in tears laughing at me. This game is stupid! Like I'm screaming.
I'm
at the
so
top of my
sad
lungs
Lord
'cause
wasn't
this
able to
game's
be here
horrible.
today.
So, I know this game is nothing like Call of Duty. It shouldn't make me this angry, but Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, you get to play as Eggman in a mech, and I almost broke my monitor and my keyboard, and I wasn't even using my keyboard, but I didn't want to break my Xbox controller because it controls my Xbox for Netflix.
I've
That was my
broken
reasoning.
Numerous controllers.
Dude, I was
See
so
me,
mad.
like, there are very few games that will legitimately get me mad.
Overwatch for me.
For me, it's Brawlhalla.
No! No!
Slam the desk. I will slam the desk.
Not talking
I hate
about
that.
game.
I love hating that game.
Like, it is out of my head. I've never even thought about it in like
I
4
don't.
months.
I don't even know what game that is, man.
Like,
Honestly.
the thing is, it can be some genuine
True.
fun. Never go into ranked if you want your sanity.
It is never fun.
Just
Like, it
like
was
Ark.
never.
Dude, I
I
play
start
Ark.
sweating intensely when I
Dude.
play this
But
game.
then the other one is CSGO. That one was the one where, like, generally speaking, if my family comes into the room, I'm pretty aware of the situation. I'm just sitting here playing CSGO. My mom and sister come in here, and then, like, you know, they're just looking for stuff, whatever. And then I'm just sitting there, and I die, and they're like, what happened? I'm like, I don't fucking know. And then my mom just looks and stares at me like, in my house? I was just like, ah, shit. I've done fucked up. And then basically I just went and I pressed the mute button. I'm like, hi, Mom, how are you? Didn't realize you came into the room.
My mom walked in on me saying curse words, just like cussing, and man, she's
No,
like,
how dare you.
You're gonna curse in here? I was like, you're fucking right, bitch. And she just walked out. Like,
It's like, nope,
that's
ain't having it.
effective. That's effective.
Thing is, it's
I
really
think
funny
cursing
though.
in front of parents is healthy. I don't know
Hold
the
up,
first time I
are we,
ever
are we
cursed.
allowed to swear in mature streams?
That's why it's listed as mature.
It says
Oh
mature
yeah,
on
that makes
there.
sense.
I
But I
made
was keeping it down for a
Okay.
while.
I made
that
the
makes Yo,
I made
not
the
cake,
comment.
my dude, my man.
I
Yeah,
was
no,
like,
it's one way
I was sitting
from-
there talking about something, and I was like, it's like, my mother asked like how was school or something like that, and I was like, that shit sucks. He was like, what was it? What'd you say? And I was like, said that shit fucking sucks. What do you mean?
The thing is, it's
She was
interesting
like-
because
Like
like
she didn't know what to do. I
my
doubled down.
my family was the one in the area, you know, like obviously, central Utah, a lot of Mormons, LDS
Yeah.
guys. But so basically, I was the kid who, well, I can remember one very distinct situation where we're at a church event, and then like I'm just talking with some of the other kids, and they're like, "Have you heard Jackass?" I'm like, "Yeah, I say it all the time." They're like, "What?" But it's so no. It was, "Have you heard J.A.?" I'm like, "You mean Jackass?"
That was, I remember being in the 4th grade. That song, "Crazy Bitch" by it was a Buck Cherry or whatever. That song came out, and this guy was like, "You want to hear a good song?" I'm like, "Why do I feel like you're trying to sell me drugs in the 4th grade?" So why'd you come over and whisper, "Do I want to hear a song?" And he was like, "Well, do you want to?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And he started singing the chorus, and I was like, "Oh, that's naughty." I was like, those are bad words." And he was like, he started laughing. He was like, "I mean, are you gonna repeat it?" And I was like, "I already forgot, to be honest with you." And I remember asking him later on. I was like, "Yo, what was those words in the song?" And I went home and said them to my parents. My mom was like, "You never say that again." I was like, "Say what?"
Thing is, it was funny. I think I was actually playing with some neighbor kids, just in front of the house, and then for some reason, I think we were using like tiny tree branches, like really thin ones, as swords, and so then I'd like just watch The Princess Bride, the Mormon thing to do. But basically, so I'm like, I remember the end spiel that Inigo Montoya gives, and he ends it with, "I want my father back, you son of a bitch." And then the kid's just like, "You can't say that word!" Like, and the thing is, I think he was a year older than me too. It's like, dude, what the heck is wrong with you? But like, oh, it was so funny. The reason why I bring this up is because my mom would constantly, like, she'd use bullshit like the word or the actual use, whatever, all the time, and then she starts complaining when I start using language. It's like, why? It's like,
Yeah.
when I matured, so you should. It's like, I don't care. I swear, that's part of who I am.
I have a story along these lines. My mom says a lot of curse words. One time, I was taking my buddy from 5th grade. I went to a very Christian school, by the way. His mom was super Christian. He was super Christian. She was taking him across town. We had to get on the freeway. My mom gets very bad road rage. In the middle of going across town, somebody cut in front of her, and she just spurted out, "Go suck a bag of dicks!" And he repeated it to his mom, and my mom was like, "Yeah, I said it." And his mom didn't get that mad, but it was so funny. He's like, my buddy Dylan, bro, it's so crazy. I was laughing so hard because I expect that from my own mom.
I know, like, it's so funny, like, because my personal belief along, like, kids and swearing would be, like, at around 13, basically, PG-13, whatever. Like, at around 13, that's when you can start introducing them to it. Obviously, they're going to get exposed, but introduce, the meaning and why you don't want to be using it outside of, for instance, like here, I have the stream marked as mature. I know everyone here is okay with it. I'm perfectly fine swearing. If I had the stream just regular, or if I was hanging out with my family, like, I know how to put on a filter. But yet, for some reason, my parents like to think that, oh, well, if you swear in general, then that means that you're always going to be swearing. It's like, no, that's not how this works.
Oh, so so Chris with Twitch emotes. My man talks Twitch emotes within every sentence that he says. Or like he'll literally be sitting there and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, really good job, Monka is." Like he just like says like or like, "Oh, Pepe heads." I'm like, "Chris, stop!" And like I asked him one night. I was like, "Do you use that kind of language with your parents?" He's like, "Oh no, I don't say it." I was like, "Oh, so you use it just to piss me off?" All right.
Chris, to put it in terms you'd understand, that's a little weird, champ. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I thought about that. That is actually a great way to put it.
I understand.
Oh, it's so good.
I see you're a man of culture. You speak the language of God.
I know. I don't speak the language of simps. All right, I'm sorry.
Oh,
That is hilarious. So,
I give that a people
Oh,
said, dude.
like this.
I'm
I like
going
a
away
card
from
like this. I
Pepperhead.
write simp. I wrote simp on the side, and then I drew a box around joke for Maria 2000.
That's so smart.
I'm gonna fake tattoo simp on my forehead.
See, imagine if I
Nobody's
did
done
that.
yet. Nobody's done that
Imagine
yet.
if I did that though. Like it's just like, hey, you want to know how much of a simp I am?
Well, Jacob,
Oh yeah, you got a pretty
your
decent
boy
hair.
can.
Mine
I
just
look
naturally
terrible.
falls down.
I look terrible because my hair is supposed to go.
You look like a Green Day artist.
By the way,
Oh, you
I
can't
don't
hear
put
me.
any product in here.
You can't hear me.
What'd you say?
I say you look like a Green Day artist.
I don't put any product
I
in my
like
hair.
a
It just stays up.
road.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
Dude,
Lucky.
that is awesome. I'm not gonna. Or, sorry, in Chris terms. Oh, pog.
Poggers.
Hair that's so pogger.
But yeah, no, I have to. But that's only because I do the center part. If I didn't
See,
do the
for
center
me,
part, I wouldn't.
I have, like, I had gel in my hair once. That was after I went to a professional haircut place because my mom had a coupon. My mom is obsessed with coupons. It got me into piracy, and then she starts complaining that I'm going and getting free stuff when she does it all the time. Like, the legality aside, it's like, you've trained me that I can always find something for free, and now you're getting upset when I do that.
I want to show you guys my hair 3 years ago.
Oh
2
boy.
days after my 18th birthday.
Good lord.
That's what I'm trying to do.
That was my
Nice.
hair. Like, no product, nothing.
See, for me, my...
This is 100% product, dude.
See, my
sorry, man.
siblings, specifically my next sister, not the youngest, but the one after me, she gets so upset with me, like, you need to cut your hair. I'm like, I like this. This is the first time that I actually feel comfortable with my hair, because otherwise it was literally just a buzz cut or a beaver tail. And it did not
boy,
look good.
long
Feel
hair, I
bad.
get it, dude. You want your hair to be the same height as you.
The coconut called it.
The funny
rock
thing
with
is, like, if I, depending on how I end up getting out of the shower, I will look like either Bon Jovi or like I'm supposed to be in Chicago.
So for me, when I put that product in my hair, I have to like just slick it to the side for the part so that it locks in the part, and then once everything dries up, I brush my hand through it and it pops it up. When I do just the part, I look like Bobby from Jimmy Neutron.
Slap.
Yeah, somebody
Christ.
called me out for that, and I was like, I hate you now. So I never go on camera until my hair's dried.
So
Nice.
I have a very girly routine with my hair when I get it cut so my hair grows rapidly. Like, this is like 5 days of no shaving.
Wow.
All of my hair just grows fast.
I wish I had that.
I haven't been to the
Hog.
salon. I go to a salon, by the way, and don't.
I go no, dude. I go to
Nah,
I go
you're
to,
good.
Sports Clips.
It was this cut short, and it's already grown like 2 more inches
Sheesh.
in less than 6 weeks. But my stylist, he's balding. It's a guy. And he's like, dude, I'm so jealous. You're never gonna go bald. You just have too much hair.
That's what I would when I did theater. I can't remember what play we were doing, but I had like the I guess the director of the youth program. He's just like, dude, you're never gonna go bald. Like he's got some good hair too, but he's like, dude, you are never gonna have to worry about going bald.
Nobody in my family is
Just have
bald.
the thick hair.
That's
Yeah,
mine. My hair is thick as shit. That's the problem.
Same.
See,
Mine was standing up, though.
I because of how
Thick hair
thick
gang.
my hair is, I have to blow dry my hair at this point. I have to go, basically, my routine now is after I get out of the shower, you know, I get dressed, whatever, and then I just put my head down and just hope that I can get this thing dry to a certain extent, and then hope that it looks decent after it fully dries.
Yeah, that's a struggle.
Jacob, I
That's
think
definitely
you might need to change the topic of. We're
Oh,
past
yeah.
we're past depression now. We're just talking about random BS,
Yeah.
honestly, having fun.
So,
Maybe.
So after we've laughed so hard, you guys want to be sad again? I don't personally.
yeah, definitely. I'm ready for being fucking depressed again. So, I have no clue what we're talking about.
I mean, granted, we did get off topic, but I think we hit really hard on it.
We did.
Mhm.
We did.
I think we really packed in a lot that we need.
I didn't. I honestly didn't have anything else to add to anything.
I know,
said
like,
personally.
it's...
Every once in a while, that's why I'm like, oh yeah, just to get back on topic, by the way.
Yeah, like, I mean, it is rough. Like, I mean, obviously, if we had more people, it would obviously be easier.
Yeah,
Much
they-
longer.
Because then you've got more topics to
all
discuss.
Sharing our story.
If we had more people disagreeing on anything, because we all agree with each other as well.
That's true.
The thing is, it seems like we all have like kind of the same
Similar,
background.
yeah, dude. Well, except you have a dope ass relationship with your dad, and I'm not salty about it at all. But
Oh, shots fired.
don't not bring that up in the Sim show. I'll be sad. Don't make me cry on that show.
you're
I'm
good.
a sad drunk. Don't do that to me.
Oh, dude, trust me. When I'm
I'm
drunk,
just,
dude,
kidding
not.
you.
I was gonna say when I'm drunk, dude, it's nothing but hype and fucking trolling, dude.
Dude,
Like,
I'm Scottish, man. You guys can't really see it, but my beard is full red. My hair's not. I turn full Scotsman, bro. Like
Nice.
I want to fight, laugh, and
oh,
another F word.
Viking.
I want-
Basically.
I was trying to pull up my sleeve. I have a tattoo here that is a Viking helmet with Irish knots to it.
Oh,
Or
nice.
Celtic knots. I'm sorry, that's the term I was thinking of. Celtic knots, because I did the 23andMe, and the two biggest percentages I have are Irish and Scandinavian, which is my Irish background. Or my my Viking background.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I did that too. Scottish is number 1, Native American's number 2.
Oh,
Are you
really?
serious? I have Native American in me, but it's a small portion of it. I'm Cherokee.
I'm about 23%
I
Native American.
believe Pocahontas is my 13th
I'm only
great
2%.
grandmother. I think that's what the relation is there.
What'd you say?
I said
Jacob.
Pocahontas, I believe,
Are
is
you
my.
lying to me?
No, like genuinely. Like genuinely, like
can't tell from my
you go
skin
back.
tone.
I guess that'd be 15 generations. I'm related to Pocahontas.
Oh, I thought you said it was.
Pocahontas is a real person?
Yes. I can't tell if you're joking or not. That's the sad part.
Oh no.
Dang it, Disney!
She was also 11 at the time.
12.
Disney
12,
took a
I guess.
really dark story and was like, yo.
But back then, 12 was kind of normal to get married.
Well, Chris,
the thing
you know
is-
that there's horror stories for every single Disney story, right? For all of like the princesses and stuff. there's
Most of
horror.
them are from the Brothers Grimm.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's
Watch
true.
those.
They're really
Or
dark.
listen
Yeah,
to
they
those.
are. They're wild.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse, the greatest demon of them all.
Little Red Riding Hood teamed up with the wolf and ate her own grandma in the
I like
book.
that. That sounds great.
Really?
Yep.
Teamed up.
Cannibalism.
Interesting.
And Disney old, though.
It was Disney at that point.
Pog.
Oh yeah, true.
The little girl ate the grandma.
See, though, for me, my mom's side, I think, is like from Denmarkish. I don't know exactly. But my dad's side, I know a lot of detail because my great grandfather served in the, I think it was, what the heck is the country's name? Because it's not Yugoslavia. It's not Yugoslavia because that was, it's by East Prussia, which was a part of Germany. Basically, he didn't initially serve in the German army, but he served, on the side of the Germans, not Nazis, the Germans. Big difference.
Dot.
Yeah,
Hold up, wait.
Hold up, wait a minute.
So what country is he?
So basically, my great grandfather, is a Binsfeld. He was born and grew up in East Prussia, which was like over by Poland and
Oh.
Germany. And so
That's not
basically,
fucking Poland.
yeah, so basically he,
Bad history.
yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because my grandmother is, directly German. My dad was very much the bad guy in all situations where it's like, oh, let's play whatever. Like, he was always the Indian because, well, he's got part Indian in him. He's always the German because his mother is German. And yeah, so I know that I'm a good portion German. I don't know anything else.
I'm a mutt, big boy mutt, except for
Yeah.
like I have a big
Booty?
heritage in Irish and Viking.
Yeah.
But I have
Yo,
Portuguese,
Forfeit.
Portuguese, British, Native American, bunch of other stuff.
Mhm.
I'm mostly just Scottish and Native, man. So I'm so big and weird.
And I'm
can
just
hear
tall
for
and
miles.
lanky.
I was built like a tank, is what everyone's told me since I was a kid.
You're a tank. I'm the elf. I guess I'd be the archer. Now, who's the DM?
So
Who's the what?
people thought,
The DM. Dungeons and
oh, the DM,
Dragons.
yo,
Chris should do it. I want to hear him say PogChamp in the middle of a campaign.
And you have beaten the overlord of all evil.
Can you
PogChamp.
get PogChamp in the crowd?
Chris, you
honestly,
do it to yourself. Chris, don't say goddamn it. You do it to yourself.
The bard said a funny joke,
True.
and you hear lol W's amongst the crowd.
Kick W.
to be fair, I'm kind of a kick W guy. The little W is also okay.
I like to farm some lols. I like to farm some lol W's, you know?
LOL is like the only
You know what I like
emote
to
I
farm?
ever use.
Carrots. Because I'm a normal farmer. I don't farm
like-
Twitch emotes.
Sometimes you have to, man. You know?
Yeah. Farming Pepegas. I do it every day.
I'm not
You also
doing this with you
But
anymore.
nobody uses Pepega.
I'm
Yeah,
not
they
going.
don't- nobody
further with
cares!
the meme. I'm not going further with the meme. I don't actually say it. You do, and we're gonna. This is an intervention. This was an attack. This was an intervention the whole time. It's just leading up to this.
Oh,
Chris,
What were we? Wait, I had a thought.
Chris
that
farms nothing but weird champs. Don't lie. I've been in streams with you. We know it.
No, chat. Honestly, the chat is not
What?
dank enough.
All right, listen. All right, bet. I'm gonna start it next time show. I'm literally gonna get chat to put weird champ. Yeah, farm it.
They
guess
can
what?
spam whatever they want.
There's gonna be two people. Egg and Shadow.
okay.
True,
I
dude,
think we've gone long
game
enough into
over.
bird stuff. I'll go do a little bit of an
thing is that
outro
she's
and then
probably
I'll come
gonna
back in,
keep it. She feels
guys.
How are you gonna keep a weird champ when you got like?
I'm assuming none of you
Wait,
heard
what?
anything I said.
Actually, no. She'll
I heard
probably
outro.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
play it,
do a
like,
quick
forever.
outro. I'll let you guys stay in here. I'll be back in a
Oh,
bit.
okay. Bye, Jacob. Love you.
much love.
Yeah.
Hey, this has been fun.
There we go. I don't know why my mic keeps disconnecting. Wait, hold up. I don't know why, but I seem to be having a constant issue with my microphone. Specifically, I think it's Zoom in particular likes to decrease my volume. Nope, never mind. It's just really quiet all of a sudden. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, that's weird. Okay, never mind. I don't know. Sorry for you. But basically, yeah, that was today's stream. I hope everyone enjoyed. I'll go ahead and here, give me. Hey
How do you
guys,
pronounce your actual Discord
do
name?
quick shout outs for
Wait.
yourselves.
Wait, what?
I'll go
Shout
first.
yourselves out.
Douche Makuchi, much love. If you want to find me or anything like that, look up twitch.tv/TallBoy Jacob. You send him a follow and a subscribe. Great people. Much love. Thank you.
Now you're doing the Dom thing, man.
Yeah, exactly, dude. He's taught me well.
It's like, I subscribe to Dodge. Anyways, Warp, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. My channel's JSchlatt on Twitch. If you want to follow, go for it. You know, I post Minecraft Monday videos and stuff like that. Have a good one. Hey, Technoblade. Thank you,
And Chris,
appreciate it.
you want to do yours?
Who do I want to be?
Who am I today?
Chris is Candyland. Hey, shut.
Oh,
Hey, shut
here, why don't you all? I think you should be able to go and just put your links in chat.
I'm sorry, Shake. It's
You're
devolved.
good. You're
It's
good.
devolved.
You're completely fine.
I wish I could do her accent, dude. I like
Yeah,
it.
so just go
No,
put
hold
your
up. This, no, no.
yeah, go stick your links in chat. Should be able to. There, you got warps.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, I don't. Hold up.
Wait, it still has the mature thing on here, so I can make this joke and do Candy Lynn's accent with the one word she knows how not to say in any language, I think.
Oh my.
A blow up?
Oh my god.
That's how she says it, man. Just saying.
God.
I know.
Also, you guys want to hear the greatest crowning achievement of my life?
Oh, go ahead.
Lucinda Love follows me on Twitter.
Ooh. Nice.
The gods have blessed me this day.
Anyways, actually be back in a minute. Okay. Going to shout out card. Anyways, though, that has been today's stream. So the hope with this, though, is that I will be able to grow this to be something bigger than going and just being, you know, obviously, like, today was a semi-small group. I want to try to get bigger groups as we go along, just because I want to be able to get to know people, I want to be able to help people. I mean, basically, when I do this, I'm attempting, quote-unquote, to play therapist, because, I mean, I genuinely want to help people. But, so, I don't know the next time we will do this. Probably no earlier than 2 weeks from now, because, I mean, basically, just, I don't know exactly how this is going to run. I do want to see about, you know, talking with more people, figure out specific topics to discuss, whatever. But that is going to go ahead and do it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to go ahead and drop a follow here on Twitch. Make sure you have notifications on so you can get notified when I go live. You can also find me down below in the panels for my Twitter, my Discord, my merch, and my VOD channel. On that VOD channel, you can find a link to my Let's Play channel. Yep, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, afternoon, whatever the case may be for you. Remember to stand tall, reach upwards. Bye, everyone. And I will see you all, hopefully, next time. I don't know exactly when next time will be, obviously, though. No later than Saturday. But yeah, stay safe, stay sane, all that good stuff. And I will see you later. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Goodbye.